So don't come into this thinking like, oh, she's a God-fearing woman. She's not going to cuss me out. I might. I might. Welcome to another episode of Pray With Me, Don't Play With Me, where we talk hot topics with love and light and God in the room. And this episode, I'm not going to say I'm heavy, but I'm anxious. I don't exactly know how to communicate the best to y'all and what I'm trying to say. So if you're new here, then you'll know that we talk hot topics with God in the room, with love and with light. And I am healing. I am not healed. So therefore, pray with me, baby. Don't play with me. And if you are new, then you don't know, but we start every episode off with prayer. We're going to bring God in the room. We are going to ask his permission. We are going to ask for his love before I ever communicate anything to y'all. So come with me, and with all eyes open or with all eyes closed, let's go to the higher power and let's ask him for love and light today. Alrighty. God, I'm asking that you come into this room, that you fill me up, that you fill my heart, that everything I'm communicating today is of you. I want to talk to your children. I want to spread the gospel of you. I want to make them disciples of you, God. You want a relationship with every last person that hears this message. And I hope that in some way, somehow, this message brings them closer to you, God. Brings them closer to your gospel, God. And just brings them closer to a relationship with you of once, because we know you want a relationship with us with grace, with willingness. We love a cheerful giver, Jesus. So we want someone to interact with this message and desire a relationship with you on their own. Not because of this message, not because of this podcast, not because of me, but because of you. Because you touched them. Because they desire a relationship with the Holy Father, Jesus Christ himself. In Jesus' name, amen. And I ain't gonna never tell y'all that a prayer is too long or too short. I feel like sometimes we may start things off, but I'm gonna just say this, but God will take over your tongue. And that's what I ask him every day. That when someone encounters me, they encounter God. They encounter Jesus Christ. Because I ain't perfect, baby. I ain't here to pretend that I am. That's why the name of the show is Pray With Me, Don't Play With Me. Because if you play with me, you gonna get human flesh. You ain't gonna see a God-fearing woman. So don't play with me now. Because I'm healing, not healed. And that brings us to the topic of today. My boyfriend asked me, because I made him watch the show and the episodes with y'all. He wasn't here when I filmed, so I didn't want to watch them with him and get his feedback. I wanted to watch them on my own. I wanted to give feedback to myself by myself. And then I had him go watch, and then I had him come back with feedback. And when he came back, he was like, you're starting off like saying you healing, but you're not healed. He was like, so what happens when you healed and you ain't got that to say no more? And one, I want to take appreciation from my man, okay? Because the fact that you know and you believe in me and my healing journey, and you know I won't be where I am right now soon, and you worried about the intro, baby. He like, you ain't finna be unhealed forever. At some point, you gonna be healed. And what's gonna be your niche? What's gonna be your plot? And I love that because he believes in me and he believes in my work internally, spiritually. So, shout out to my man for always believing in the best parts of me, you know? But I told him what I'm gonna tell y'all. We ain't never healed. Like, as long as your body is pumping blood, your heart is pumping blood, you ain't never healed. We finna turn this phone off because this is gonna be a distraction. We're not doing it. Because I need y'all to listen to what I'm saying, because I had to go do a little research and I had to do a little like in-depth thinking when he asked me that, because it brought me back to like full circle, like well, at some point I do desire to be fully healed. I went to God, I prayed about it, did some research, and what I've accumulated and what I'm bringing to y'all is we are never healed. We are never fully healed, like as a whole, as a flesh. You're never fully healed. You're gonna always have temptation. You sin every day. So as we're sinning, we are feeling. Feeling is healing. You can't be fully healed if you're still feeling, right? Because that's what healing is. So as long as blood is pumping through my veins, my heart is beating, I am feeling. So therefore, I'm in a never-ending healing process. So it'll never change. I ain't Jesus Christ himself. So I ain't never perfect. So I'm always healing. So I'm always feeling. So therefore, y'all gonna always be on a journey with me, and we gonna forever be healing and not healed. So baby, pray with me, don't play with me, like I said. Okay? Don't try to pick on God-fearing women and men as I ain't saying this when my man do it. I'm speaking to the other people because this is why he brought this up. Do not use the opportunity that someone is trying to better themselves, heal the flesh, walk in a light and a path of God as an opportunity to be disrespectful and overall play with them. Because baby, just as much as they praying for you, they can play right back with you. So don't come into this thinking like, oh, she's a God-fearing woman, she not gonna cuss me out. I might. I might. Because the only day I have dedicated to not cursing is Sunday. So don't play with me on Monday morning, because you might get cussed out. And I don't desire to be perfect. I'm not Jesus Christ. I ain't waking up looking like, ooh, who I'm gonna curse out today. No. But if I fall victim to the flesh and I need to release that energy, baby, I tell you all, pray with me. But let's not play with me. I'm healing. I'm not healed. I am human. So that's the answer. My boyfriend's question, your question, anyone's question. Ooh, is she ever gonna be healed? Nope. You're never gonna be healed. As long as you're feeling and you can get upset and you can cry and be happy and be mad and be frustrated and have anxiety and as long as you can feel an emotion, you're not healed. We will never fully be healed. I hope that doesn't upset. Well, you know what? I hope it challenges you to not be perfect, to not have it all together every day. You don't have to be happy every day to have a happy life. But a lot of times we think that, ooh, I gotta be happy every day. I gotta check off everything. I gotta read. I gotta pray. I gotta go to the gym. I gotta take care of the kids. I gotta take care of the man. I gotta take care of me. I gotta journal. I have to check off every box in order to say I had a happy, successful day. That is unhealthy. I am a victim of that. I know that far too well, which is why I'm making sure I communicate to my babies, my mamas, my girlies, my ladies, my queens, all of the things You do not have to have it all checked off in one day to be accomplished, to be happy, to feel happiness. Baby, rest. Rest. A lot of times, God is telling us to, do y'all know, it's telling us to rest. Let me finish a complete sentence before I go to the next one. Do y'all know it isn't a sin to obsess over something? It is a sin to obsess over a schedule and accomplishments that you have to depict. God wants you to rest. Rest. And it ain't just on the Sabbath day. Rest throughout the week. Take a moment to sleep, to restore. Becoming new is every day. Become new again. What is one's steps that they can take to healing? There aren't any specific steps that you can take in any specific order. I think everybody's journey to healing looks different. But I think the very first step for everyone is to acknowledge, I've been hurt, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm mad, I'm frustrated. And there are primary and secondary feelings. We won't go into those today. But if you don't know them, I would suggest tap into them a little bit. Find out what are primary and secondary feelings. And when you are in a place of feeling, ask yourself that question. What is my primary feeling and what is my secondary feeling? And a lot of what you might not know is, a lot of you may not know that your secondary feeling is usually happy, angry, sad, hurt, or something of that sort. Happy, angry, sad. Like the three main ones that we know. We can be happy, we can be sad, or we can be angry. Those are secondary emotions. Your primary emotions is usually what's underneath what's bringing out that emotion. Whether, like, for example, primary emotion, accomplishment. I'm happy because I feel accomplished. That's an example. And I'm not getting into this. That's another episode we can get into. But like I said, go do your research, figure it out, find it out, and go from there. Okay? But the question is steps to healing. First, figuring out what is it that hurt. Like, okay, I'm hurt. I feel this. What is it that I want to acknowledge? That comes from the first step, finding out that primary and secondary emotion. What am I feeling? So therefore, I know how to address that specific feeling. I hope that makes sense, y'all. And acknowledging after you've identified, well, I guess a lot of times it sounds opposite, but a lot of times we do that. A lot of times we acknowledge that we are hurt after we figure out what it is we're feeling. We got to figure that out first. What is it that I'm feeling? Once you figure out what I'm feeling, then you can acknowledge, oh yeah, that's what I'm feeling. I am hurt. And I'm hurt, or I'm sad, or I'm disappointed, or I'm angry, or I'm anxious, or I am starving. I am inadequate, insecure, lazy, unhealthy, whatever emotion it is. Once I feel those things, I acknowledge it. Yep, that's what I resonate with. And how do I conquer it? And I can tell you more so about my journey with healing has been hard. Because it started with my parents. So I've been healing. I am 26 years old, almost at 25. Just recently had a birthday 2 weeks ago. So I forget that I'm 26 years old. But I am 26, and my relationship with my parents has been a long one as far as healing is concerned. And I'm trying not to single out a specific parent, but I can be honest and I can be vulnerable, specifically with my father. Now, every mother-daughter has their little hiccups. We disagree. I'm becoming a woman. We don't always see eye to eye. here nor there, normal mother-daughter relationship. Outside of the normal, I have struggled with my relationship with my father. And I feel like the struggle started well before I was ever able to contribute to the relationship. I think he struggled with being young, being a father, and having to eliminate self from a relationship and saying, oh, it's not about me. It's about this little person. So because of our struggle and the dynamic of our relationship, it's caused me to have to acknowledge, like, I'm disappointed. I lack a earthly father. I have a heavenly one, but I lack an earthly one. And that sucks. As a woman, that sucks. As a black woman, that sucks. There's been times I've experienced things romantically with romantic partners, and I wish I could call my dad and be like, you know how this MFA played with me? You know, and I wish y'all ever heard that Janae Aiko song where, forget his name, start with a K. It's not Culture. Corrupt. Where Corrupt is telling her, like, you that girl. If that, you know, he was letting Janae know, like, I don't care what you may feel. I don't care what it may look like. I don't care how but you that girl. There's been so many times I wish I had a father I could call where I didn't feel good, where I didn't feel as adequate, where I felt insecure, where a man didn't played in my face. And I just wish I could call my dad and he could say, come over, I got you. And we could just curl up in the bed and I could just cry. And I could just be like, man, I got all of this going on, like, you know, and he could be like, psh, he missing out. Like, you want to hear from a man. I don't want to hear from my mama. I don't want to hear from my girlfriends. I want to hear from a man. Like, oh yeah, you that girl. You probably know you that girl, but from a man perspective, I'm telling you, you that girl. You everything a man looking for, and he's a loser. He's missing out. And I've missed that, and I wish I had that. So I had to go through the proper steps in my journey of healing to look to God for that. And now I listen to podcasts and I listen to them differently because I have my own podcast, so a lot of times it's research. But if you know me, you know I love me some Sarah Jake Roberts. That is my mentor. We are sister cousins in my mind. And I was listening to an episode today, and she told me, and someone else told me before, you may not have an earthly father, but you have a heavenly father. And when the first woman, my first spiritual guider, told me this, I didn't want to hear it. I was mad. I was like, that's not enough. I need someone in the physical presence. And then when SJR said it today, this was probably 2 years later, it just resonated differently. And I felt okay with that. I was like, you know what? I don't have an earthly father, because being transparent, January 1st of 2025 will make 2 years that me and my father have had an actual relationship. And it's been difficult for me because I was a child that felt like I needed relationship with my parents in order to be successful, to thrive. And I think just overall have an image like, oh yeah, I got a relationship with my mom. I think I had a depiction as the type of woman I wanted to be, and that depiction included a mom and a dad, even if that meant trauma, abuse, and all of those things from a parent. And I'm just no longer in that space. I'm okay. I'm content with maybe not having a earthly father, but having a heavenly father. And some days are harder than others, and I ain't gonna pretend to you like, oh, some days I don't wish I had a father on earth that I could call and say, I'm going through this. Protect me. provide for me, take care of me. I wish I had that sometimes. But when I lean into the love that God gives me all the time, it gets easier. But the hardest thing about grief is letting go and being content with the happiness and where you are right now without that person. And I've never experienced grief with that person that's actually passed. I've only ever had to grieve relationships and people that are living. And I ain't never experienced the other type of grief, but I don't know, I feel like this one harder. Because it's like, I feel like it may be easier to grieve somebody you can't call. It's hard to grieve when it's like, oh, I know that person 10 minutes up the street. It's hard to grieve this relationship when I know just 5 months ago, this is what my belief was. I feel like those things are harder. But I don't know, because I never experienced grief in the aspect of actually death. So, but yeah. So that brings me to another conversation between us, discipleship. I am here locally to Houston, Texas. I go to Blueprint Church, and if you visit there, then some of the things that I will say will resonate. If you're not, join us for church, okay? We got 3 services on Sunday. Come, because you'll love it. And if you know me, then you know I love my church. But one thing my pastors are big on is discipleship. Turning the non-believer into a believer and turning the believer into a disciple. And so that got me into looking into, well, let me not say me. PM, Pastor Matt, said this past Sunday or the Sunday before, discipleship is, well, he didn't say actually what discipleship was. He just said that we're all being discipled by something, be it whether that is God or Lotto. And it made me think, well, I'm pretty sure discipleship is just following the leader. So I just went and looked it up. What is discipleship? So discipleship is learning, following, and imitating a master teacher. Now, you, yourself, get to pick who is your master teacher. Now, your master teacher could be Lotto, for the men, Future, God, money, and in a lot of cases where people don't want to talk about, family. Family and partnership can be your discipleship, what you want to follow, what you want to master. And the problem with, and we'll stay here, the problem with wanting to disciple family or being a disciple of partnership is that is your main priority. That is your lifeline. That is your obligation. When your duty, your obligation, your responsibility, your priority should be to be a man or woman of God. Everything else gonna fall after. If you prioritize being a woman of God first, the husband, the kids, the career, the house, the car, everything is gonna fall in accordance. And vice versa as a man. If you prioritize being a man of God, you're gonna find the wife who loves you, that don't love your pockets, that is God-fearing, that has a career of her own, that is beautiful, like is all of the things, beautiful inside, outside, know how to take care of the kids, nurturing, giving, is all the things you're looking for. But it starts first with what are you discipling? What are you mirroring? What do you want to be a replica of? Is it God? Is it money? Is it family? Is it Lotto and Future? You got to ask yourself that. Who do you want to be more like? I know for me personally, I want to be more like God. I tell everybody every day, I want to walk in the image of God. If you encounter me and you feel like I left you better than you came, if you feel like you've encountered God's gospel, you feel like you encounter God himself, I feel like I'm accomplished. I did my duty for the day. I did God's work. Encountering, I just pray every day. God, when people encounter me, let them feel you. Let them know your presence. And that's enough for me. So I want to bring it to your attention that Lotto and Future, often their music is representation of luxury lifestyles, which y'all can't afford, heartbreak, which y'all don't want to go through, and struggles that y'all can relate to. So why are we glorifying or even prioritizing this type of music in what we listen to? Because as we know, the mouth, the tongue is a powerful thing. So what you hear, what you listen to is what you repeat out. And it's what you're saying. Future and Lotto do not speak to, I don't know about y'all, a life that I want to represent. Lotto talks about how she prioritizes abortion. That is glorified in her world. She would rather pop $500 than to trap a man. She speaks on this. She speaks on sending her body through tumultuous experiences because of an image that she's trying to portray. Future displays being depressive, but instead of seeking therapy, seeking lean and pills and weed and alcohol and everything but God and therapy. And so does Lotto. They, Glorilla, oh, if he cheat on me, I'm gonna cheat back. Why not just leave? Why not just pray? Why not just forgive? And I haven't listened to it fully yet, but SJR, back to my good sis, has an episode right now on infidelity in a relationship and in a marriage, and how you should walk and how you should think and how you should move if you decide to stay, or what you should be doing if you decide to leave. But I can tell you the resolution to your problem, if you decide that you want to forgive your husband or your boyfriend for cheating on you, is not to go cheat back. That all that leaves you is using your body, your temple, for revenge, and all you do is gonna feel icky and nasty afterwards, because that's not who you are as a person. That's not your character. So now you're putting yourself and making yourself do things that is not of you for revenge, to get even. Yeah. But you know why these are your thoughts? You know why why this may be your thoughts? Why this may be your perspective? Because you're listening to Future, who tell you if a girl cheats on you, go sleep with another one, or to sleep with married men's wives, or to sleep with men who have women that are committed to them, their girlfriends. And this is why it's your mentality to feel whole and accomplished, is if you've made another man's woman submit to you, and submission is sexual. So if you made another man's woman be sexual with you, that is a form of submission. So now you feel accomplished because I've made someone else's world turn upside down. I've made someone else's life that seems glorious look icky and nasty. I can bring their flaws of their partners, of their life, of whatever it is, to their forefront, and I can remind them, I can show them. Because you listen to Lotto and you listen to Future. And because they telling you sleeping with a man who has a baby mama, as long as I can beat her up, that's cool. Sleeping with a man's wife, oh well, he ain't my husband, so that's cool. Y'all are letting these people give y'all moral and relationship advice that, do we know if they're taking? Because last time I checked the blogs, Lotto wasn't sleeping with nobody's husband, but she's telling y'all to go do so. Lotto wasn't sleeping with anyone's baby father, but she's telling y'all to go do so. And yet Lotto is also saying she's getting an abortion, but because she don't want to trap a man. But we've yet to know any factual proof that Lotto ever had an abortion. So y'all are taking relationship and life advice from people that you don't even know. You don't even know if this woman is actually living out the advice that she's giving you. That's why we need to be more of God. We need to be more like God and less of like wanting to be like other people. Because they ain't of Jesus Christ. They ain't perfect. They got flaws. Lotto will get on here every day and tell y'all how she gonna protect her womb. She don't want to have a baby. 21 Savage just don't want to have no kids with her. He can't have no kids with her because it's probably in his prenup with his current wife. So that's why she'll get on here and pretend to y'all that she doesn't want to have a fruitful life and reproduce. Because if y'all remember, a couple of months ago, she got on Carisha podcast and stated that she wanted to have 21 Savage's baby. And then now she's putting out music saying she's protecting her womb and she don't want to have no man baby. Or did that man just tell you he don't want to have no baby with you? So stop letting these women a man don't even want to have a baby with them or make them a wife or or build a future with them. Just want to sleep with them. Give y'all advice. Because are you in a position where a man just wants to sleep with you? So if y'all aren't even in the same position, why are you taking advice from Lotto? You should be taking advice from God. From your past. You know what? No. From God. Go to God. Ask God for advice. God damn. Y'all want to be so much like these people y'all don't know. It's quite frankly annoying to me. I'm just going to tell y'all that. So to kind of bring things fully back around, as you can see, my biggest encouragement to y'all is change your music perspective and see how it changes your life. Switch from listening to Lotto, listen to Madison Ryan. Switch from listening to Future, listen to Alex Jean. See how moving your music perspective will change how you even view situations. There are moments where I can tell you, be vulnerable. There's moments when my boyfriend pisses me off. I might not be at home. I might be somewhere else and we could pass words and I get pissed off I could be playing Lotto, Glorilla, everybody in the car and I'm finna get home. I'm finna tell him because I'm done. And if he don't get with my program, I'm done because it's my way or the highway. That's not gonna, it's not gonna gain me anything that I want. But to be manless, to be emotionless, to be heartless, all things that are not of me. I don't care to be alone, but I don't want to be alone because I push someone away out of fear. I don't want to be alone because I'm afraid of being vulnerable. Nah, I don't want to do that. So instead of riding home, listening to Gorilla and anticipating what I'm going to say to my boyfriend when I walk through the door and how I'm going to let him know about himself, I'm going to put on Madison Ryan. I'm going to put on Inner Me. I'm working on the inner me. I'm going to put on some light, heartfelt music to get me to let my guard down, drop my shoulders, bring God in my car. How do I want to go in here and talk to this man of God as a woman of God? I don't want to go in here and yell and cuss and scream. How do I want to talk to him? So I'm challenging all of y'all. When you're in a moment of feeling like someone got you messed up, you are feeling like you need to check somebody, could be your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and you riding, even if you're waiting for a phone call back, I challenge you. Put on some gospel music and start praying. Ask God to warm your heart, to fill up your heart. So when you interact with this person that is bothering you or you feel like you got to let them know that God speaks through you when you talk to them. And that's my challenge to you. If you haven't blah 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 blah, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my show. If you made it this far in the episode and you ain't subscribed, what are you doing? Okay, because apparently you like it here. I love that you like it here. I love you and I want you to stay. And lastly, I'm opening up the floor for a prayer request. If you're going through something, if you want to give me some insight of what it is and you want us to pray for you, tell me. If you want to give no insight, but you just want prayer, tell me. Your name doesn't have to be mentioned, but I do want to open up a segment in the show where we go through prayer requests and we send our love to our cousins and we send our support in whatever ways that we can. So I love y'all. And I hope this message resonated with y'all where it should have. If it ruffled a few feathers, good. And tell me what more y'all want to talk about or hear about in our community. I would love to share more topics and my opinions with y'all. Bye, cousins.